Hi, my name is Steve Garland. I'm the head wrestling coach at the University of Virginia, giving a weekly video newsletter for Virginia wrestling. And I have two objectives today. In my newsletter, I want to, one, kind of recap quickly the Southern Scuffle, which was a really good event for our program, and then also preview and sort of highlight the competition coming up, which is the Virginia Duels. So the recap of the Southern Scuffle. You guys by now have probably seen the releases. We had Jackett Mueller was the champion at the Southern Scuffle at 133 pounds. Obviously the big highlight of the weekend for us. And Jack is currently ranked fourth, I believe, fifth, depending on ranking. He's in the top 6 in every ranking. Let's just say that. And he's obviously the goal is to win a national championship. But Jack, he took third at the Vegas tournament. Was disappointed with the fact that he didn't win that tournament, but then that's why we schedule tournaments like this again. He got another chance at a huge tournament and goes out and wins the tournament. And so I think it wasn't necessarily that he won the tournament, because that's what the expectation is for Jack. It was the way he competed. We were just so excited for, especially the way he looked in the finals. I mean, just takedown, and then ride, which is him. 6 minutes and 35 seconds of riding time. There's only 7 minutes in a match, so basically he got 3 takedowns in under 30 seconds and then rode the rest of the way. That's pretty darn impressive. That's about as impressive a match control as you can get. So very excited for him there. The semifinal showdown he had with a young man by the name of Austin DeSanto from Drexel, who's a total stud, who at Vegas made a name for himself by upending the number 2 guy in the country. Well, Jack had beaten him twice at Vegas, and now was his third meeting with him, and it was a great match. Honestly, some of the most high-level wrestling I think you'll see out there. Just great stuff from start to finish, and match was really close, and Jack got a takedown. He snapped and spun behind, and the young man was injured in the process. He actually got a concussion, and with the concussion protocol, as we went through earlier in the year with Jack, they take the young man off the mat, and the medical staff evaluates him, and they deemed him unfit to compete. So Jack won that match via the injury default, and then went to the finals there. The reason why I explained that situation, there were some questions on what went on, but up until that point, and that was late in the match. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was just, if you get a chance, watch that match. Watch some of the takedowns and some of the scrambling and some of the effort from both athletes. I think one of the things we were so excited about Jack with is one of the pillars of our program is compete in such a way, and what that means is going out there completely freed up to max out the gifts and talents you've been given, to not fixate on the win, but just fixate on wrestling and having fun and going out and scoring points. And Jack was hitting stuff from everywhere. I mean, he hit a flying cement job at one point, which actually ended up getting taken down off of. But, again, we smile because we want guys wrestling like that, with that much courage and that much freedom to try moves. He went out and executed a beautiful boot scoot takedown. He was hitting his front headlock. It was just great. Re-attacks. I mean, there was just all kinds of action. So, great stuff there. Louie Hayes, same type of thing. Louie took third, but looked awesome. I mean, I think he had 3 tech falls, 4 bonus point wins. The hardest thing in our sport to do, I think, is wrestle back after the semis heartbreak. So he loses to returning national champion in the semis, and totally heartbroken, has to find a way to regroup, has to find a way to get back out there and compete. 45 minutes later, goes out, tech falls the young man from Air Force who had just won 4 or 5 straight. So impressive. Actually cut the young man, speaking of competing in such a way, cuts the young man from Air Force with 8 seconds left to get the tech for the team, and tech falls the guy. Takes him down with 1 second left. That, you can't get any more of an attack mentality than Louie has, and it's just so excited. He's huge for our program, the way he's wrestling, and he's a fan favorite right now as well. And then for third and fourth, he also got a tech fall for third and fourth. I mean, just pouring on points. That match, he actually didn't just do it from his feet. He did it on top. He got a bunch of turns, mat returns to back. Just really, really, really solid wrestling and aggressive wrestling. So another highlight from the tournament was Sam Krivas. Sammy broke through this tournament. He made it to the semifinals, lost to returning 2-time national champion Zane Rutherford from Penn State in the semis. Came back, in his biggest win to date in his career, he beat returning All-American Max Thompson from Northern Iowa. Huge win for him, and I say huge win because he's come close. Last year he beat a top 10 guy and stuff, so he had some good wins, but he's come close to beating All-Americans, but hasn't finished the match off. And this he was able to finish off. From start to finish, he was able to control the match, win the match, and stick to that and get that W for himself, which was big. And so, we've always known Sammy was this capable. It's been a little bit more slower going maybe than everybody wanted, but the bottom line is he's a sweetheart of a kid that does everything you tell him to do, and Coach Travis specifically has invested a ton into him, and it's really cool to see that growth. I mean, if anybody noticed him at the end of Vegas, that Vegas tournament took off for him towards the end and how he competed. He competed his tail off and then led into the momentum to what we saw at the Southern Scuffle, I think. So really good stuff from him. Also, a couple more highlights for you. J.A.L.O. at 197 got a big win for him. He's only a freshman, so he beat the 16th ranked guy in the country from Stanford, who was also the 4 seed at the tournament. And I was talking offline to a friend about what we like about Jay's development, and we've been preaching to him, use your athleticism. You know, you're a goer. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the state of Virginia, defensive end. He's a phenomenal athlete. Go out and impose your will on your opponents because you're that gifted. And so what he's been going out and doing is, even in losses, he lost in the placing round at Scuffle almost because he was so aggressive. But we'd rather have that. Again, compete in such a way. We'd rather have guys going out and shooting and worry about what happens later. And so that's what he did. And he got himself in some bad positions, but we loved his aggressiveness and the way he was attacking. I'm trying to think of, there's some other good spots here and there. I mean, Fred Green got a couple pins. He's a very dangerous wrestler, as we've said. Gosh, Andrew Atkinson was seeded there at the tournament. Will Shaney was lost a round before the placing round. Didn't have the tournament he wanted to have, but you know, Will's a guy that all year has been steady for us, and he's our captain, one of our captains, and we feel like he's just about to break out for us as well. So good stuff there. And Tyler Love had a couple really gritty wins at heavyweight. So those are sort of the highlights from that tournament. Now, moving forward to the Virginia Duels. For those who don't know, Virginia Duels is one of the most storied, historic dual meet tournaments in the history of our sport. It's a phenomenal event. It's so much fun. I think it's everybody's favorite event. I know my wife in particular can't wait to get down there. She very rarely travels to watch us because of our children, because of her responsibilities as a teacher, but she can't wait to get down there just because of the excitement of this event. I know personally for us, we've had great experiences there, win or lose. A few years back, we won the tournament. We've taken second a couple times. We've had some showdowns where we've beaten top 10 teams and top 12 teams, and where we've lost heartbreakers, but they were great matches. And so we expect that again. The Virginia Duels is a premier event with a lot of intensity, and the way it's set up is really cool. And so it's just a great thing. It's great for our team. So we're excited. We go in there again with those highlights of Louie Hayes ranked top 12, Jack Mueller ranked in the top 5, and Sam Krivas and J.A.L.O. and these other guys. So we're bringing some heat, we feel like, and hopefully we can have again, win or lose. We're going to develop and grow, and then use this as our momentum heading into the ACC grind, which is right around the corner. So I would just say, make sure if you're from the Commonwealth of Virginia, you can find a way there. It's worth it. It's worth your time to go down and watch. And for those who've been supporting us faithfully all these years, driving down, you guys know who you are, and thank you so much for coming. And I can't wait to look up in the stands and wave to you guys again. It's one of my favorite things of the year when I look up and I see those same folks who've been so faithful to us up in there, up in the stands, cheering us on. Trying to think here. One thing I'll end with, and a little bit of, it's not a little bit, it's a lot about sad news, but I wanted to make sure I got this out there so people who have been asking and wondering about what's going on with certain guys on our team have been out with injuries. So we got some rough news in the last few weeks. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, we lost 2 guys to medical disqualifications, where basically season-ending injuries that were that severe that they were deemed medically unfit to compete. Just recently, we found out that Chance McClure is going to be going in and getting looked at for potential shoulder surgery. He's been all year. A guy's been asking where's he at, because he was supposed to be one of the anchors of our team. He's one of our captains, and he hurt his shoulder early on in preseason and tried to wrestle through it. And it's just got to the point where now physically he's unable to do what he wants to do, and so we're looking at surgical options there. So his season's looking like it might be coming to a close, and we're going to be hopefully getting him healthy. And it's a big blow. I mean, obviously that's a huge blow for us. At that weight class where we expected to have a senior captain in there. But I'll be honest with you, with this year, the way things have been going, I'm used to it. We were down 2 starters, former starters, before the season even started, and we've been able to just continue to stay the course and just do the best job we can. And so that's what we're going to continue to do. And we've got one of the most hardest working young men I've ever coached, and Michael Batista. He's only a freshman, but he's just such a great kid, and he's there right now. And we'll continue to try to find ways to put the best team out there we can, the best 10 guys, whether it be bumping guys or moving guys or keeping guys right where they're at. I don't know yet, but I know we're going to do everything we can and remain faithful to the process and lead the results of God. So that's what we're going to do. Also, a young man who's an in-state guy who a lot of guys in the Commonwealth follow is Corbin Allen. Corbin Allen was another guy that we had as an option at 74, 84, and hasn't been able to compete yet for us because he's been recovering from knee surgery. And he had a setback this week, and he's going to be undergoing another knee surgery, his third knee surgery. So, our heart goes out to him and his family. Last night I was laying in bed praying for him and his family because just, not to be dramatic here, because it's part of our sport, but it's rare that you get that many surgeries. I mean, it's tough. I don't care who you are. I don't care how tough you are. If you have that much pain and adversity in your life, obviously it's going to take its toll on you. So I would just ask us all to, sort of come together for him and be, for me, you pray for the kid. You pray for him to learn and grow from it. You pray for his health, and you just try to be there for him to support him. And the same thing with Chance. So I just wanted to make sure I got that out there. I don't usually talk about any injury stuff. As a matter of fact, it's a huge no-no for me typically, but I just felt like more because of the relationship that a lot of you folks have in terms of your support for those two guys. I know Chance is a guy that's everyone's fallen in love with since he's been here, and he's just such a great kid. He's engaged. He's a leader. He's literally engaged. He's going to be married soon, and he's got so many big things in his life, and this is a huge setback for him and a huge setback for Corbin, who's been wanting so bad to get in the lineup and be a starter for us and represent this program. So for both those guys, I just ask that you be thinking about them and praying for them. Again, last thing I'll say, Virginia Duels, here we come. We're excited. I will post another video after the duels and give you guys as much recap information as I can. Thank you so much for all your support. Happy New Year, and go Hoos.